Welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. I'm BinkyB and this is the first Cons of Tarkir draft that I will be playing ever. Or actually no, it's actually the second one. I played a pre-release draft as well. So since I'm preparing so hard for Grand Prix Stockholm and Grand Prix Madrid, I don't really have time to draft as much as I would like. But now I have found a hole that I can do it in. So, crappy rare, two crappy uncommons and a very powerful one. So here's the deal, what I think at least. I think you want to be committed to two colors, preferably enemy colors, and then splash the third color to get the powerful 3 color cards. So I would take Murderous Cut, and if I can't find a good black card I will look for a green or white card to start off with. Absan Guide is fantastic, Hooting Mandarus is pretty good, and Lance, but I think this is the best. Okay. So there is somewhat interesting cards here. We could take up arms to go tokens. We could take Roar of Challenge, which I think is pretty good actually. Horde Amber, let's see what this is. Yeah, that's right. But I also think that Ponyback Brigade is very powerful. So we could take that and go more into Mordu right away. I don't think that Take Up Arms will wheel. The Ponyback Brigade probably has a higher chance of wheeling, but I think it's just better overall. Then we could wheel a Trumpet Blast maybe, I think that's okay. Mordu Charm. So let's see, black cards, not really, white cards, decent. So I think Mordu Charm is very powerful, and it goes into tokens as well. The Freed Weapon Master is also very strong. Manual is still good, Krumar is decent, Land is good, Singing Bell Strike is okay, but we also have a Treasure Cruise. No, I'm gonna try to go Mordu. Kirilish Lord. Yeah, that's good. So maybe we wanna change our plans a bit. There's also a Debilitating Injury, which I think I'm gonna take. I don't think it's much worse than the Lich Lord, and it's in our colors, and otherwise it's like the Loxodon. And yeah, Injury is pretty good. Arrow Storm. The Wind Scout is good though, and Ancestor is also pretty good. Arrow Storm or Ancestor. I think I'm gonna take the Ancestor. It is pretty good actually. So here we have a Scavenger and a land. I'm gonna pick a Scavenger. I do like the card a lot. So here we have crappy 1-drop and a land, so land it is. And a Tormenting Voice, but yeah. So I think our main goal here is to go black X and then splash the other color. So right now we could be black-red splashing white for the Charm and Brigade, or we could be black-white splashing red for the Charm and the Brigade. I think there is more good double red cards than there are double white. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I mean Arrow Storm and stuff is double red. So maybe. I do think this guy is pretty good because he triggers raid very early, and he blocks pretty good, and he has Outlast, so he's better than I thought. So we got like a chunk of removals and 2 good creatures. That's pretty good start, I think. Now the question is it me who's lagging, or maybe? Hopefully not. There we go. Land is not for us. I don't like banners. I don't like a 7-drop either, so a morph it is. I do think Canyon Lurkers is better than people give it credit for, because if you play it as a morph and they play a morph, they probably don't want to block, and then you're getting for 5 damage, and if they do want to block, then you just don't flip it. And if they don't block and you're getting for 5 damage, it doesn't matter if they flip their guy next turn, your guy is still big enough. So this is, yeah, I don't think that's good. I'm gonna pick a Summit Prowler. I think that guy is pretty good though. Is there any chance I will go into green? White, green, red. No, probably not. Naya is not for this. I'm gonna pick another Summit Prowler. Swift Kick. Did not wield a Trumpet Blast. I'm gonna pick a bow here, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it. Sure, for the board. Well, he is at least semi-playable. So what would we like to open if we can choose? I'd say Sarkhan or Sorin. Yeah, that's the 2 cards that pops up in my head. Is there anything else? A Temur banner. Sure, I'll take that. Don't think I'm gonna play it. The thing with using banners to splash with is that it will be very hard to crack them, which I think is a pretty big drawback. If you can't crack the banner, it's pretty mediocre. Dragon Throne is not very good. Let's just put it that way. I've tried it. Wrong land, that is pretty good. I think we will take a Swarm of Bloodflies over the land. We could take Wind Scarred Crag. I'm gonna take the Swarm of Bloodflies. I think it's pretty good. Sheaf of the Scale. A lot of blue floating around. So Sheaf of the Scale is pretty good. How many warriors do we have? The Brigade. That's probably it. No, we have an Ancestor too. I could take another Injury and just go more late game-ish. Yeah, and I'm probably more like black, red, splashing white, so I don't think I will be able to play him on turn 2. Could take a bird too. I think the Injury is pretty good. That ensures the early game for me, at least. And when you have stuff like Lurkers and Prowlers that could get in as big finishers of sort, and at the same time a Swarm of Bloodflies with a token maker, I think you're looking for the more late game-ish version of Mardu. I also think white is highly contested for the most part. That might be wrong, but it's what I feel. So Leaping Master is pretty good, but I think here I will take a land. He's not that fantastic that I just want to slam him over the land, which is pretty good. I would like to have like 4 or 5 lands if I can get my hands on them, but we will see. Armament Corps is pretty good, but we have some good cards here too. Another Treasure Cruise. Jesus. I think we'll pick more the Horde Chief. Actually. Or do we take this? Splashing Green? Probably not. Let's take a more the Horde Chief. Hopefully we will get in something else here in the 1 and 2 mana department that can attack. There we go. Another treasure cruise. I think they're pretty good. So now we did get a white early drop anyway, even though I said that the Chief of the Scale will probably not be cast on time. So we'll see if that ends up being true. Here I actually think the War Behemoth is better than the Tormenting Voice and the Bloodfire Expert. He's not fantastic by any means, but he is a morph, and that goes a long way. Actually, you're a morph. Get over there. Hooting Mandrills, Salt Road Patrol, Dutiful Return, or a Swift Kick. I think I want a Salt Road Patrol. Oh, here we go. Yes, guys, Student is pretty good. War Shrieker is also pretty good. I think I'd take the Student because I'd rather have the low drop. Even though I could replace the Prowlers. So War Behemoth Wheel, but I don't think I want that. I'm not gonna play this either. Do I take the land? Probably. You never know. Here I think we take the bird. Do we take the pet? Yes, we do. It's not fantastic, but I'd rather have like 22 cards where one is or two is mediocre and 2 more lands than having to pick a decent creature over a land later. So now the plan is basically to... Oh, hello. Well, we could play that. We could... I could see replacing the Prowlers, since the double red tends to be a stretch as far as the deck is shaping out. So I would like something else in the early game, and yeah, let's see here. Avalanche Tusker is pretty good, but not in our colors. Nothing up here basically is in our colors. That's nice. Actually, nothing in the whole pack is in our colors basically, so we will take a Rite of the Serpent, which is not where I want to be. So we're looking for like 2 more playables that are good. Absan Ascendancy. Okay, so we have a land, which I want, a Throttle, which is good, War Shrieker, which could replace the Prowlers, Bitter Revelation, Dead Drop, and Absan Battle Priest. How good will he be in this deck? We have 1. Okay. Dead Drop is pretty good. But is it better than Throttle? I'm not really sure about that. Delve. We have 1 Delve card so far. I think I'm gonna pick Throttle. I know exactly what I get for my mana there. Ooh, another Mardu Charm. And a Take Up Arms. And a Kill Shot. We could ship the Mardu Charm and hope to get it back. That seems so bad. I guess Kill Shot is pretty good too. I'm gonna take the Charm. Here's the whole Sultai deck. We're gonna pick a Scavenger and be happy about that. And we're going to cut one of those. What do we have here? Bring Low, Despise, Smite, and a land. I would love to take Bring Low, but we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 removals, so I think I'd rather pick a land. Ponyback Brigade over the land, I think it's correct this time. Remove the other Prowler. So now next card out is probably Another one, and a Chief of the Edge. How many warriors do I have? One. What does this do? Warriors, okay. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does that make a warrior 2? It's borderline. I do think it's a fantastic card. But so is Ponyback Brigade. Screw it, I'm gonna take the brigade. I know some people won't agree with me on that one, but yeah. I think the Alabaster Kirin is pretty good here. I'm actually gonna hate the Longshot Squall. Could see playing a bit of Revelation 2. Removing Tormenting Voice. Removing Canyon Lurker. Maybe not Canyon Lurker actually. Where did you go? I think Sidisi's Pet is pretty bad. One more card to cut. Nothing here. War Behemoth. Maybe it's more Horde Chief actually. I do think the card is good. Maybe not here. Assault Road Patrol. We have 3 creatures that could trigger raid. Until turn 3, that is. I do like the flyer. Ride of the Serpent or another morph. I think we can play Ride of the Serpent actually. I don't hate the Spice either. Now we're gonna cut Lurkers and Horde Chief. And we have 13 creatures. Maybe we can play 17 lands in this deck. Nah, maybe we cannot play 17 lands in this deck. Maybe we cut. Yeah, we're gonna cut the Despise. I don't think we need it. So I think this deck is pretty good. We got a bunch of removals, some really scary threats because they don't get handled by one removal spell, decent amount of morphs, at least a passable early game, and a decent late game as well. So I think the deck is pretty done here. I don't think there's anything in the board that I would like. Not really. It could be the Despise, just because it's good to have the information, and it will probably hit something, but I don't think it's worth it. I would also have loved to get red lands instead, but what can you do? 4 mountains. I don't think that's really accurate. We can cut 2 swamps. That gives us 7 white, which is plenty. 7, 8, 9, 10 black, which I think is pretty overrated. Let's see here. How many? How many white spells do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and stuff here, and they're spread over the whole curve. So we got 6, 7 white sources. That should be enough. Red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 5 sources for that. That should be good enough. And we have 6, 7, 8, 9 black for our main color. I think that's enough too. We could probably cut a mountain for another swamp if we want to, but I think I'm gonna go with this. I'll see you shortly for game 1.